I gave you £1,000 today and told you it could be the seed of 50,000 plus in future wealth, would you leave it in the bank for safety, blow it on vibes because, I mean, it's not life-changing anyway, it's just £1,000, or overthink it so much that you do nothing? Here's the hard truth. Nobody told us growing up that your first £1,000 is not about getting rich, it's about building a system. Get that system right, and the next £10,000, 50,000, 100,000 have somewhere powerful to live in. Get it wrong, or you do nothing, and you quietly lose years of potential growth. Today, I'm going to show you how I would invest £1,000 in 2026 as a long-term grown African investor. And yes, there's a controversial 10% bet in here, and then a very boring move that most people will be tempted to skip. But stay with me to the end so you don't miss either of this. If you're new here, I'm Charles, and this is WealthMotley, where we build calm, unapologetic wealth for Africans in UK, in Nigeria, in US, in Canada, everywhere around the world, across the diaspora. If you're packing ships like water, sending money home, and still want your money to actually work for you, hit subscribe and turn on the bell, because this whole channel is for you. Now, let me introduce you to someone. Meet BC. I want you to think about BC. She's 33, she's living in Birmingham, working care shift, sending money to Lagos every month. After 2 years of hustling, she finally has £1,000 sitting in a bank account for the first time. She opens her app and thinks, if I invest this and mess it up, I will be stupid. If I leave it, I know inflation is going to be eating it, so I'll just wait. This video is how I would help someone like BC to turn that stock feeling into a simple growth plan. I'm going to split a £1,000 into 5 moves. 1 boring safety layer, 1 boring but powerful engine, 1 tech growth split, 1 10% spicy bet, and a final slice of companies she actually believes in. I tell you the exact percentages as we go. So let's start with where most of the exciting growth can actually come from. First place I'm looking is not in a savings account, it's tech and innovation. If I'm investing £1,000 in 2026, around £300, that's 30%, is going into a Nasdaq ETF. If I'm in the US, this might be something like the EQQQ, and in the UK or Europe, this might be something like the EQQQ. Now, what does this actually mean? Instead of BC trying to guess which single tech stock would win, the Nasdaq-100 gives her a slice of 100 biggest non-financial companies on the Nasdaq. Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, Amazon, Meta, a whole squad of other giants. If the S&P 500 is like owning a slice of the entire American economy, the Nasdaq-100 is saying, I want extra exposure to companies driving the digital and AI future. Is it more volatile? Absolutely. Will it swing more than a boring simple index? Yes. But for BC, this 30% is a growth tilt for the next 10 years. This is money she's not planning to touch every time that there's drama on Sky News. So the exciting growth, please. But you can't build a house on just glass. We need some concrete underneath. And that's where the next 40% comes in. And that's what I call the boring engine, which is the part that does the heavy lifting in the background. Around £400, that's 40%, goes into a low-cost S&P 500 ETF. If I'm in the UK, that might be the VUAG, held inside a stocks and shares ISA, so that all that growth is tax-free. In the US, that could be something like the VOO or any other S&P 500. With just one move, owns tiny pieces of 500 of the biggest companies in America. Apple, Microsoft, Visa, Procter & Gamble, Johnson & Johnson's, McDonald's, and hundreds more. Why do I like this as a big chunk? Because over long stretches of time, despite recessions, crashes, and drama, broad stock markets has historically grown. We're not betting on one CEO or a country's politician. We're tying BC's money to a huge basket of productive companies. This 40% is not to impress Twitter. No, it's here so that 10, 20, 30 years, future BC can say, my money has been quietly working while I was on shift, while I was sending money home, while life was lifing. If you only remember one move from this video, I'd want it to be this: having a boring, broad core. Now, we've got the engine and the tech charger. Now, let's talk about the most controversial 10%, the one that people either love or they hate. Now we've come to the spicy bits. Around £100, that's 10%, I'm comfortable putting into Bitcoin ETF. Let me be very clear. This is speculative. This is volatile. It's not when your rent money should even go at all. So why is it here at all? Because like it or not, Bitcoin has moved from weird internet experiment to an asset that serious institutions, pension funds, and ETFs now hold. A Bitcoin ETF lets BC get exposure to Bitcoin's price without needing to set up a whole crypto exchange, manage a private keys, or stress over sending coins to the wrong address. Here's exactly how I think about this slice. If Bitcoin went to zero tomorrow, losing 10% would maybe hurt BT a bit, but it's not going to destroy a whole life. If Bitcoin continues to be adopted and mature over the next 10 to 20 years, that small slice could meaningfully boost a long-term return. So the rule is simple. Treat it as a high-risk satellite, never as the foundation of your portfolio, of your money. If you're extremely risk-averse, you can skip this piece. But if you include it, respect the risk and keep the position small on purpose. For BC, this is just £100 and it's a way of saying I'm taking a control bet on a potential future of money, but my whole life doesn't rise and fall with it. So we've covered core, we've covered growth, we've covered controversy. Now let's talk about the part where people usually lose their minds, individual stocks. And this is how to do it in a grown way. The next £100, another 10%, goes into one or two individual companies that I truly understand and believe in. This is where names like Alphabet, which is Google, Amazon, come into play. But here is my non-negotiable plan. If I can't explain what this business does in one simple sentence and why it might still matter in 10 to 20 years, I don't want to own it individually. So Google is search, YouTube, ads, Android cloud. Amazon is e-commerce, AWS cloud, logistics, infrastructure. They're not just cool tech brands, they're infrastructure for how the modern world runs. So for BC, that £100 could be £50 into Google, £50 into Amazon, or even just one stock if fees, and all of those things make it easier. The purpose of this is that 10% is not to turn her into a day trader. It is to learn what it feels like to own a single company, experience price swings without panicking, follow a business story over years, not days. And then the beautiful thing, even if she never buys another single stock, she still has 40% of her money in the S&P 500, 30% in the Nasdaq tilt, 10% in Bitcoin ETF. That's already diversified. That last 10% is just where she gets to say, I own a tiny piece of companies that I actually use and believe in. So we've used 90% of the money. You might be thinking, wait, Charles, where is the safety? Where is the emergency fund? That's not a mistake. That's the most important part. And I always try to leave that to the last. Finally, the most boring and most disrespected part of any plan, the buffer. I want to leave at least £100 or the last 10% sitting in a high yield savings account or the money market fund. Yes, even in 2026. Yes, even though we've just talked about indexes and Bitcoin, this £100 is not about returns. It's about behavior. If every single penny of BC's £1,000 is in the market, the first time Nasdaq drops, 20%, or our agency cuts her hours, or our mom calls from Lagos with an emergency, she'll be tempted to panic sell her investment. That £100 buffer says, if life hits me this week, I don't have to destroy my long-term plans on day 3. It sits in a HISA, not for Uber Eats, not for holiday vibes, just a tiny start to a 3 to 6 month emergency fund we would eventually want. Is it exciting? No. Does it keep the entire plan alive when emotions flare? Yes. This is the money that helps you stay invested when the market misbehaves. So if I had £1,000 to invest in 2026, here's how I'll personally structure it. 330% in Nasdaq ETF, £400, 40% in S&P 500 ETF, that's diversified core, 10% or £100 Bitcoin ETF for high-risk satellite, only what I can emotionally invest in, 10% another £100 into individual giants, Google, Amazon, and co. companies I understand and believe in the long term, and then 10% or £100 into a high-yield savings account, my don't panic buffer, so I'm not forced to sell my investments in a crisis. This is not the only way to do it, but it's a coherent, intentional system and not vibes. This simple structure helps you to dodge 3 big traps. First, all in cash, looks safe, quietly loses to inflation. Number 2, all in one hype asset. I put the whole £100 into one stock or crypto. One bad move and you're back to zero. Number 3, overcomplicating it. 25 random stocks you can't track, constant stress checking your phone, all of those things. We want simple, we want diversified, we want grown. Here's what I want you to do next week. Even if you don't have that full 1,000 pounds yet, number one, decide your percentages. You can copy this 30, 40, 10, 10, 10 split, or you can tweak it to your own risk tolerance, but write it down. Number two, open the right account, a high yield savings account for your buffer, a stocks and shares ISA, or a brokerage for your ETF, depending on whatever country you're in. So think of Bamboo, True, Rise, all of those things if you're in Nigeria. Trading 212, Free Trade, Vanguard, all of those if you're in the UK. Fidelity, Vanguard, Show Up if you're in US. Trading 212, if you're in Australia. If you're in Canada, think of things like Wealthsimple. Number three, start with what you have. If you have just £200 today, use these same portfolios with a smaller scale. The habit matters more than the headline. Number four, commit to topping it up regularly. Even £50 a month dropped in structure like this over years is powerful. Now, if you want this full breakdown, to understand all of this, the percentages, the examples, the ticker, if you're serious about learning to build long-term portfolio like this for yourself, not just copying one random YouTube video, I am running a wealth and stocks class in 2026, early this year. For Africans in the UK, in Nigeria, in Africa, in US, Canada, just across the diaspora. We'll cover things like how to pick your ETFs, how to think about risk, how to size positions like, that 10% in Bitcoin I showed you, and how you can build a plan you can actually stick to for decades. Now, just in the description box below, click there, you will see the link there. Please just join the waitlist. This next video is going to show you how I would invest over multiple months in 2026 using a similar framework for £500 and thereabouts. You don't want to miss it. So make sure you're subscribed, make sure you don't miss it. Stay blessed, stay wealthy, and I'll see you in the next video.